Hey y'all. So a quick message before we get on to your video. I have posted a new installment of This Is Me. It is the most important This Is Me video I have ever posted or likely will post. That is no pomp and circumstance, that is the tea. So if after this video you can head on over and watch it, that would mean the world to me. The link to that video will be in the description box below of your reading. And with that being said, on to your reading. Thanks. Hey Taurus, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're gonna be taking a look at your second half of October general reading. So in your meditation, I was immediately taken to like a carnival. And there was one of those, I don't even know what you would call this thing. I don't even know if they really exist anymore, but it used to be like a fortune telling deal where there was like the head of like a, gypsy fortune teller. I'm using air quotes here, of course. It with a big turban, like really ridiculous. And then you would enter in money and it would like give you a fortune. So I saw that. And then I saw, instead of a fortune coming out, like there was all this water and it flooded the entire carnival. And I saw you as the Taurus collective being swept off in this torrent of water that came out of this fortune telling machine. And I saw you being swept out and the water just kept moving you to some unknown location. And it was just sweeping you out in the water. And then you got so far out into the depths that I saw you look to your right and you like were eye to eye with like a huge like whale. And it was like, oh, hi, fancy meeting you here. Hello. And you just kept moving down the water. And I saw you finally like landing on like a seaside, like on the shore, on the sandbank. And I saw you kind of lying there, kind of like, wow. And it wasn't traumatic. Nobody was harmed in the carnival. It wasn't like a flood. It was sweeping you out. And then I saw you lying on the sandbank and I saw you kind of go, whew. I saw you look to your right and there was one of those beautiful conch shells with the spiral. You know what I mean? Where that whole thing of like, if you hold it up to your ear, you'll hear the ocean. And I saw you do that. And I saw you hold it up to your ear. And then there was this beautiful baby pink elephant. They're looking at you. So let's get into this. So pink elephant, pink is the color of emotional memory, right? Elephant is about memory and about the past and about healing, right? So there's a message here around it. Does feel like there is some emotional memory or part of your past, maybe your childhood even, or something of far off distance, or something to do with childhood that is connecting you to a certain, how do I say this? A certain line of energy where you are having certain experiences that in some way you've graduated out of or are ready to graduate out of. So in order to attract different people, places, things, opportunities, you're being asked to go back to whatever that emotional core memory is or are, right? And bring it out into the light. Like take it out of the water and bring it out into the light. There's something that wants to be healed around that. But it's really interesting how it's coming through, because sometimes our emotional core memories, okay, let me give you an example to better explain this. So let's say that I have an emotional, core emotional memory where I was abandoned as a child, right? So I carry that into my adulthood, and the choices that I make, even though I'm not cognizant that that's affecting me necessarily, the choices that I make are subconsciously made out of a fear of abandonment, right? So what does that mean? I keep attracting people, places, and things where I'm abandoned because I'm attracting that to me. Right? Because it's a core emotional memory that I am aligned with. Even though I don't want to be, I'm aligned with it because it's within me, right? Then I get to the point where I seek help or whatever it is, and I realize, oh, I've been operating from that core wound. Okay, well, let me heal that. Let me understand that. Let me look at it, right? I'm able to heal it, become aware of it, see the patterns that I've made as a result of that core memory, and then I'm able to shift. I'm able to alter my vibration and attract new things. Suddenly, instead of attracting people, places, and things that basically force me to relive that abandonment core wound, I'm attracting new things. People who value my worth, jobs that value my worth, all of these things that stick around, that are stable, that are long-term, right? Because I shifted that core memory within myself, that core wound. So that's a very specific example of how this is coming through for you, but there's something that you are aligned with energetically that feels like it's a core wound or a core emotional state, that if you're being invited to take it out and shift it, see it first and shift it so that you can attract new people, places, things, and realities. You could have it going on in a lot of areas of your life, but there's one that you've yet to really, it could be like you've got a great, family life, great friendship group, great health, whatever it is, but your work, it's like, I don't know, I haven't been able to quite, be in a work situation or have monetary abundance in the way that I want to. Maybe the core wound is going to be related to whatever is going on in your life that you have yet to feel like you've truly reached a level of satisfaction or contentedness with. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and see what your cards say. Hey Taurus, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the second half of October. Oh, it's so on the nose. So here we have butterfly energy. Guess what this equates to in the tarot? 3 of Swords. Heart pain based on past experiences. Okay, so we're tuned in, let's talk about it. So here's the thing, this is very on the nose of what we were seeing in your meditation, because metamorphosis only happens on the other side of going into that cocoon mode and turning into goo and doing the hard work of transforming so that you can come out the other side looking beautiful and flying free, okay? So this is what's going on for you at the time being. So I like that this is coming up for you, because even though it's not the easiest of energies, it's always better to know what's going on and what's coming up for you as an energetic opportunity to heal and look at for the sake of your highest lived and realized potential, right? Because you are here to reach those levels of potential. It's really about mapping out what within you is keeping you from that potential. I'm telling you, in the readings that I do for people, when I do personals, all these years I've been doing it, I have found more and more, when people say like, why haven't I met this person yet? Or why haven't I secured financial abundance yet? Or why hasn't this happened yet? It's always, time after time, it's not why you haven't gotten it yet. It's what within you is a block to it. It's not why you haven't. It's what can you do to become a match to it, right? Take it into a place of action, because you have the power to take whatever action you like, right? Right. Okay. 5 of Swords. So here we have a moth, really interesting, butterfly and moth. So 5 of Swords, 5 is the number of change. 5 of Swords are aspects of your experience that just feel like they're not aligned with integrity. This could be aspects of your path, of your past, of people doing things that, maybe were not in your best interest, or not treating you with all the love and respect and care that you well deserved. This could also be, 7 of Swords is self-sabotage, but 5 of Swords is something that when we experience it enough, we can learn to take it in and see it as a way of being, and we can do it to ourselves because it's what was done to us, right? But 5 of Swords is acting outside of our own integrity when it comes to our own best interests and when it comes to others, and also other people acting out of their own integrity towards us. This is not, a very comfortable energy, but it's again one of those things where if you're able to see it and be aware of it, then you have the power to make changes around it, right? What I'm getting with this specifically for y'all, because these are all pointed at this moth, I feel like I'm tapped into a group of y'all that are very sensitive, and I mean that in the best way, because moths represent empaths, right? So especially if you were a highly sensitive child, I don't feel like you necessarily grew up in an environment, or maybe even into your adulthood, weren't in an environment where everyone was as sensitive to your needs or as welcoming around your sensitivity, or really gave you the TLC and nurturing that you needed in some way, shape, or form. Okay? This is also because this does rule the realm of the mind, and you have 3 of Swords here as well. It feels like there's an aspect to this that wants to ask you, like, what does your own internal dialogue sound like? Are you hard on yourself? Do you let yourself off too easy? What is it? Like, what does your own internal dialogue sound like? You're being asked to take a look at that. Is it something that you inherited? Sometimes it can be very interesting when we stop to really observe our minds and the ways in which we speak to ourselves. Oftentimes, if you try to give it a face to the voice, you'll find that it's someone from your past. I know for me, like when I started doing that, when I learned this concept some years ago, I realized that there was a very specific face or person that voice was embodying. And it was a teacher that I'd had early on in life that made a profoundly negative impact on me. And I didn't really connect the dots until years later. And when I was going through this course, and I was told to give a face through meditation, give a face to that voice that says all these terrible things and makes you feel bad. And then I saw the teacher come into view, and it was like the minute that I unmasked that teacher, they no longer had the power over me. And all of that dialogue that I internalized from them was softened in a way. So you're being asked to do that for yourself. And we all have it, honey. There's nobody who's exempt from this. Nobody who's exempt from this. But be aware of it. Observe it within yourself, okay? It could be your parent that you're hearing in your head. It could be teacher, whoever. Ooh, 7 of Swords, hello. 9 of Cups. I'm really happy to see this for you because I do feel like we are looking at the path forward. Remember, we're talking about living your highest potential, right? And it's about aligning, being aware of what you're currently attracting, taking responsibility for it, seeing it clearly, and then really investigating what shifts can be made. Really asking those questions in and of yourself, right? Because you attract, right? You are attracting what you have. And you have attracted what you have had. So really looking at that, because 9 of Cups is wish fulfillment, right? It's that utter and complete satisfaction. There is an aspect of this, though, of 9 of Cups, which speaks of overindulgence or going to the extremes in some way, shape, or form. And I do feel like that is coming through for you. Extremes, it's a tricky thing. Because as a society, we love to recommend extremes, right? The advertising companies get paid off of people, really bending to the extremes. For example, let's work so hard that we make all the money we can and then drive ourselves into the ground. But hey, on our graves, it'll say they worked hard and died with a job well done. Or let's party hard. Let's vacation hard. And vacation so hard that we're so dead at the end of it that we can barely raise our head to do a final cheers. Think about it and really consider the role of extremity in your life and in your society and in your family structure and in your work, right? When do we ever get encouraged to have balance or harmony? You know what I mean? And that's really coming through for you. I feel like you're being asked to examine your relationship to balance, harmony, and how some extremes are enacted in your given reality. I find that if you really ask this with an open mind, a lot can be revealed through that lens, okay? A way into that also can be for some of you, looking at what were your parents' relationships to extremes. Did you learn to work hard and put everything second because you saw your parents doing that? Did you learn to overindulge in the good times because your parents did that and then work kind of like fell to the wayside and you just, work was something that you had to do to get to the good part? It's a story. It's not really true. It's not really, you know what I mean? It's just really examine that belief system along extremes and really look to your past for information around that. And then you have the 4 of Wands. I'm really excited to see this, and I really love how this is storyboarding for y'all because it is kind of like a map towards where you're meant to be on the other side of, taking a look at your past core wounds. I know it's very psychological, but this is the energetic blueprint and the potential that you have to move forward to where you desire to be and your ultimate happiness, right? Again, it's asking the question. It's not why I don't have what I want. It's asking what within me is acting as a block to what I want, right? That's the truth. So 4 of Wands is about celebration, happy home, happy family. It's that 11-11, beautiful energy here of signs and synchronicities and really patting yourself on the back for a job very well done. It's like, hey, you made it, you're here, wonderfully done. Now it's time to celebrate before you move on to the next, right? It is very interesting here because look at this. It's like on the other side of the Five of Swords is wish fulfillment and celebration. It does not feel like it's that far off to you, but I do feel like there are going to be some realizations or some changes that want to be made that might elicit some deep emotion or discomfort for you, and it's okay. It's all a part of the evolution process. It's all a part of growing, right? And you're being asked to grow and undergo a sort of metamorphosis that you can be aligned with what is truly yours, right? Let's get some advice. I feel like some Akashic advice. Oh, la. Oh, la. Oh, so good. Okay, so you got 2 for 1. The first one is the Oracle of Delphi. So this is really about tapping into your intuition for knowledge and not being afraid to look at what's there. This is exactly what we've been talking about, but I like that you're getting this as your advice, because this is going about it from an intuitive lens, right? Approaching this from the place of intuition, through meditation, through stillness, through intuitive journaling, however you do this for yourself, through guided meditation, I'm hearing. And there's tons of meditation about core wounds, heart pain, how to become an energetic match to what you want, all of that stuff. All of that's available on Hay House Radio, YouTube, all these places. I'm hearing that can be a wonderful way for you to access this knowledge within you. And that is really, really beautiful. This is another way of saying the answers are within you and they're there for you to look at. They might even be closer to the surface than you think because of what's happening with this blueprint, okay? Then you have the Divine Physician, which I'm so here for. So this speaks of heart healing. Can you even believe? Do you see how he's like shining that golden light onto his heart, onto her heart? And this definitely looks like Jesus, right? It doesn't say like in the guidebook, the word Jesus. I don't know what that's about, but it's so clearly Jesus and that Christ energy. So Christ energy, if we look at it from that perspective, is all about heart healing, heart energy. Love is the only thing that matters. Love is truth. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is everything, right? And the love connected to the heart chakra, and he's literally healing her heart. And we're talking about heart healing. Hello. Look at that well with all the water in it and how he's like carrying this thing of water as well. It's really interesting. You know, when I think about your opening meditation with all the water carrying you through to somewhere else, you know, water represents the emotions and intuition. So I like that this is coming up for you in this way, and that the swords here, the air energy are not the most comfortable. So I'm really feeling with this isn't something to think your way into. It's really best accessed through your intuition and through your feelings. And I really like this. This is Caudicus as well, which is, you know, do no harm. It's really, really beautiful. You absolutely have this, Taurus. I ain't worried about you at all. It's a beautiful opportunity. And this is, listen, it's always an option, right? I'm going to get an oracle, but this is always an option for you. It's just a blueprint of what is going on energetically for the Taurus collective. And if you're like, yeah, like I want to work with this energy as it is, then it's here for you. And if not, you don't have to. You can catch it on the next time or whatever it is, right? Okay. Let's get an oracle, Taurus. Let's get an oracle. So good. The prison waif. Self-sabotage, poverty consciousness. I think we were talking about something similar with the Five of Swords, right? You know, remember how we were talking about what we learned from our parents or what we saw growing up and all of this? I feel like this is directly related, especially to this like poverty consciousness. The kind of the tea here with this is that there's a light, there's a way out just behind her. It's kind of the Eight of Swords energy, right? There's a light behind her if she just were to turn around and see it and move towards it. But it does feel like this is a prison or an entrapment of things that you grew up with or that were really embedded in you, some core memories in childhood or in your earlier life even. It doesn't have to be childhood, but just a child here. That are just, it's not working for you. It's keeping you from your best reality. So it's being called out and it's keeping you from your true happiness. So you can look at it if you want to and release yourself from these patterns that are not yours, that were learned and inherited, right? This is how we set new patterns for our children or for the children around us or for other family or for we set new patterns, right? You know, it might be helpful too if you do have kids or you have kids close to you that you care about, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, whatever it is. You know, really think about how you talk to yourself within your Five of Swords mind, and then imagine talking to these kids that you love the way that you talk to yourself on your worst day. That can be a very enlightening exercise. Okay? All right, Taurus, I'm sending you so many blessings. I so hope this helps and resonates. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I would so appreciate that. Also, I have a favor to ask of you, dear Taurians. I have published a new This Is Me video. So This Is Me is a series that I've started where I talk about all the things that are going on in my life, my tea, what's, you know, on the flip side of the camera, what's going on with me. I have published one that is very important. It relates to you. It relates to this reading. I would very much appreciate it if you watched it. It's very important. So I'd appreciate that. The link to view that will be in the description box below. Leave me a comment over there. Let me know like you got it. I would really appreciate that. And with that being said, just thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe, of course. Thank you for being here. And most of all, and as always, my beautiful, beautiful bulls, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.